Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishkam Vitamscha Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyanajana Shilakaya Chakshurum Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gaurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govindamidam Ujwalam Bharatanam Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwa Gurunsha Divyad Bhagavad Premnawe Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchandabananam Balarka Chelan Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishwara Shidaram Vanshakapatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavenebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gora Tavishe Nama. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Madhya-lila, Chapter 4, Sri Madhavendra Puri's devotional service. Text 169. Grishma Kala Antepuna Nila Chale Gela Nilachale Chaturmasya Anande Rohila. At the end of summer, Madhavendra Puri returned to Jagannath Puri, where he remained with great pleasure during the whole period of Chaturmasya. So at the end of summer, after the Chandan festival for Gopinath, where they put Chandan and camphor on the body of Gopinath during the summer, after the summer was finished, then summer in India is usually like May, June, and part of July. And then, so after that time, then Madhavendra Puri returns to Jagannath Puri. He remained there during the whole period of Chaturmasya. Shri Mukhe Madhava Purir Amrita Charita Bhaktagane Shunaya Prabhu Kore Ashwadita. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally praised the nectarian characteristics of Madhavendra Puri, and while he related all this to the devotees, he personally relished it. Prabhu Kohe Nityananda Koraha Bichar Purisam Bhagyavan Jagate Nahiyar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda Prabhu to judge whether there was anyone within the world as fortunate as Madhavendra Puri. Dugdadana Chale Krishna Jare Dekadila Tinbare Swapne Ashe Jare Agya Koila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said Madhavendra Puri was so fortunate that Krishna personally appeared before him on the plea of delivering milk. 3 times the Lord gave orders to Madhavendra Puri in dreams. Jara Preme Bashaya Prakata Hoila Seva Angikara Kore Jagat Tarila. Being obliged because of the loving affairs of Madhavendra Puri, Lord Krishna himself appeared as the Gopal deity, and accepting his service, he liberated the whole world. Jara lage Gopinath kira koila churi ateva nama hoila kira chora kori. On account of Madhavendra Puri, Lord Gopinath stole the pot of kheer. Thus he became famous as Kheer Chora, the thief who stole the kheer. Karpura Chandanjara Age Chandala Anande Puri Gosar Prema Uta Lila. Madhavendra Puri smeared the sandalwood pulp over the body of Gopinath, and in this way he was overpowered with love of Godhead. Mulecha Deshi Karpura Chandan Anite Janjal Puriduka Pabe Iha Janiya Gopal. In the provinces of India governed by the Muslims, there was much inconvenience in traveling with sandalwood and camphor, Because of this, Madhavendra Puri might have gotten into trouble. This became known to the Gopal deity. Mahadayam Mahaprabhu Bhakata Vatsa Chandana Pari Bhaktashrama Korila Saval. The Lord is very merciful and attached to his devotees. So when Gopinath was covered with sandalwood pulp, Madhavendra Puri's labor became successful. Purir Prema Parakashta Koraha Bichar Alokika Prema Chite Lage Chamatkar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu placed the standard of Madhavendra Puri's intense love before Nityananda Prabhu for judgment. All his loving activities are uncommon, Mahaprabhu said. Indeed, one is struck with wonder to hear of his activities. Parama Virakta Moni Sarvatra Udasina Gramya Bharta Bhaye Dvitiya Sangahina. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, Sri Madhavendra Puri used to remain alone. He was completely renounced and always very silent. He was uninterested in everything material, and for fear of talking about mundane things, he always lived without a companion. Hinajana Gopalera Agyamritapana Sahasra Kroshashi Bule Chandana Maginya. After receiving the transcendental orders of Gopal, this great personality traveled thousands of miles just to collect sandalwood by begging. Boke rohe tabuana maginya nakai hina jana chandanvar bahi loyajai. Although Madhavendra Puri was hungry, he would not beg food to eat. This renounced person carried a load of sandalwood for the sake of Sri Gopal. Manika Chandan Talavisheka Karpur Gopale Baraiba E Ananda Prachur. Without considering his personal comforts, Madhavendra Puri carried one mound, about 82 pounds of sandalwood, and 20 tolas, about 8 ounces, of camphor to smear over the body of Gopal. This transcendental pleasure was sufficient for him. Utkalera Dani Rake Chandana Dekinya Tahan Edaila Raja Patra Dekaya. Since there were restrictions against taking the sandalwood out of the Orissa province, the toll official confiscated the stock, but Madhavendra Puri showed him the release papers given by the government and consequently escaped difficulties. Malecha Desh Durapata Jagati Apar Kemate Chandana Niba Nahi E Bichar. Madhavendra Puri was not at all anxious during the long journey to Vrindavan through the provinces governed by the Muslims and filled with unlimited numbers of watchmen. Sangi ek batanahi gate din dite tatapi utsaha bora chandana loya jaite. Although Madhavendra Puri did not have a farthing with him, he was not afraid to pass by the toll officers. His only enjoyment was in carrying the load of sandalwood to Vrindavan for Gopal. Pragata primara e swabhava char nijaduk vigna dira na kore bichar. This is the natural result of intense love of Godhead. The devotee does not consider personal inconveniences or impediments. In all circumstances, he wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Etaragara prema loke dekaite gopala tare agya dila chandana anite. Sri Gopal wanted to show how intensely Madhavendra Puri loved Krishna. Therefore, he asked him to go to Nilachala to fetch sandalwood and camphor. Bahu Parishrame Chandan Remuna Anila Ananda Barila Mane Dukana Ganila. With great trouble and after much labor, Madhavendra Puri brought the load of sandalwood to Remuna. However, he was still very pleased. He discounted all the difficulties. Parika Korite Gopal Koila Agyadan Parika Koriya Sheshe Hoila Doyaban. To test the intense love of Madhavendra Puri, Gopal, the Supreme Lord himself, ordered him to bring sandalwood from Nilachala, and when Madhavendra Puri passed his examination, the Lord became very merciful to him. A bhakti bhakta priya Krishna vyavahar, pujiteo ama sabar nahi adhikar. Such behavior exhibited in loving service between the devotee and the devotee's lovable object, Sri Krishna, is transcendental. It is not possible for a common man to understand. Common men do not even have the capacity. Ita bole pade prabhu tara krita shloka, jay shlok chandre jagat karyache aloka. After saying this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu read the famous verse of Madhavendra Puri. That verse is just like the moon. It has spread illumination all over the world. Gashite gashite jaiche malaya jasar gandhabare taiche e shloker. Bichar, continuous rubbing, increases the aroma of Malaya sandalwood. Similarly, consideration of this verse increases one's understanding of its importance. Ratnagana madhye jaiche kostuba mani rasakabhya mare taiche e shlokagani. As the kostuba mani is considered the most precious of valuable stones, this verse is similarly considered the best of poems dealing with the mellows of devotional service. A shloka kohi jachin radha takurani tarakripai swaryache Madhavendra Vani. Actually, this verse was spoken by Srimati Radharani herself, and by her mercy only was it manifest in the words of Madhavendra Puri. Kiba Gorachandra iha kore ashwadan, iha ashwaditeyara nahe chotajan. Only Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has tasted the poetry of this verse. No fourth man is capable of understanding it. This indicates that only Srimati Radharani, Madhavendra Puri, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are capable of understanding the purport of this verse. Seshakaliye shlok patite patite siddhi prapti hoila purir shlokera sahite. Madhavendra Puri recited this verse again and again at the end of his natural existence. Thus, uttering this verse, he attained the ultimate goal of life. Aidina dayadranata he maturanata karavalokyase Hridayam tvad aloka kataram daita brahmyati kim karomyaham. Aidina dayadranata he maturanata karavalokyase Hridayam tvad aloka kataram daita brahmyati kim karomyaham. O my Lord, O most merciful Master, O Master of Mathura, when shall I see you again? Because of my not seeing you, my agitated heart has become unsteady. O most beloved one, what shall I do now? O my Lord, O most merciful Master, O Master of Mathura, when shall I see you again? Because of my not seeing you, my agitated heart has become unsteady. O most beloved one, what shall I do now? The uncontaminated devotees who strictly depend on the Vedanta philosophy are divided into four sampradayas or transcendental parties. One of the four sampradayas, the Sri Madhvacharya Sampradaya, was accepted by Madhavendra Puri. Thus he took sannyas according to parampara, the disciplic succession. Beginning from Madhvacharya down to the spiritual master of Madhavendra Puri, the acharya named Lakshmipati, there was no realization of devotional service and conjugal love. Sri Madhavendra Puri introduced the conception of conjugal love for the first time in the Madhvacharya Sampradaya. And this conclusion of the Madhvacharya Sampradaya was revealed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he toured southern India and met the Tattvavadis, who supposedly belonged to the Madhvacharya Sampradaya. When Sri Krishna left Vrindavan and accepted the kingdom of Mathura, when Sri Krishna left Vrindavan and accepted the kingdom of Mathura, Srimati Radharani, out of ecstatic love of separation, expressed how Krishna can be loved in separation. Thus, devotional service in separation is central to this verse. Worship in separation is considered by the Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya to be the topmost level of devotional service. According to this conception, the devotee thinks of himself as very poor and neglected by the Lord. Thus he addresses the Lord as Dina Dayadranata, as did Madhavendra Puri. Such an ecstatic feeling is the highest form of devotional service. Because Krishna had gone to Mathura, Srimati Radharani was very much affected, and she expressed herself thus, "My dear Lord, because of your separation, my mind has become overly agitated. Now tell me, what can I do? I am very poor and you are very merciful, so kindly have compassion upon me and let me know when I shall see you." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always expressing the ecstatic emotions of Srimati Radharani that she exhibited when she saw Uddhava at Vrindavan. Similar feelings experienced by Madhavendra Puri are expressed in this verse. Therefore, Vaishnavas in the Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya say that the ecstatic feelings experienced by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during his appearance came from Sri Madhavendra Puri through Ishwara Puri. All the devotees in the line of the Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya accept these principles of devotional service. So, Srila Govindamars, he explained that the whole incident or the whole experience of Madhavendra Puri and going to Jagannath Puri, getting the chandan, getting the sandalwood and camphor to bring for the service of Gopal, that all this served as an example to glorify this particular verse that Madhavendra Puri said at the end of his life, Aidina Dayadranatahe, that just as sandalwood becomes more and more fragrant the more it is rubbed, so Madhavendra Puri showed this verse, which is only understood by Srimati Radharani, by Mahaprabhu himself, and by Madhavendra Puri, and no fourth person. And he showed the beauty of this verse, and he was saying this over and over again towards the end of his life. And the whole example of the bringing sandalwood shows the glory of this verse, because it is like the sandalwood itself, which when it's rubbed becomes more fragrant. So this verse is being repeated and repeated by Madhavendra Puri, and he's drawing more out of that verse continually. We also hear elsewhere in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, referring to this verse, that Ramachandra Puri came towards the last days of Madhavendra Puri, and he was so foolish that he commented to Madhavendra Puri. He said, "Why are you crying? Why are you feeling this lamentation? You should fix your mind upon Brahman. You should try to understand in that way." And Madhavendra Puri, when he heard that, he became very angry, and he said, "Get out of here. Leave immediately. If I see your face when I leave this world, I'll go to hell." So that Ramachandra Puri, although supposedly a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, he was rejected by his spiritual master. And meanwhile, Ishwara Puri, he in his last days took care of Madhavendra Puri. He would clean up after him and do all service. So that also showed that that Ishwara Puri is the example of someone who receives the favor of his spiritual master, and Ramachandra Puri is the example of someone rejected by his spiritual master. But the point I'm making is Ramachandra Puri also, he couldn't understand. It says no one can understand this verse besides Mahaprabhu, Radharani, and Madhavendra Puri. And then Govinda Maharaj would also comment. And also we can see that Krishnadas Kaviraj is able to express this and explain the whole incident regarding the beauty of this verse and how it compares with the rubbing of sandalwood. But Ramachandra Puri, obviously he couldn't. So that was the conclusion of Srila Govinda Maharaj, that this verse is like the highlight of the whole chapter, that everything about that leads up to bringing the sandalwood and the sandalwood being rubbed and put on Gopinath's body and everything is to glorify this particular verse of Madhavendra Puri. And also in the Madhvacharya Sampradaya, there is no conclusions of Madhura Ras. There's no understanding of that. And their Sampradaya is actually devoid of this element that Mahaprabhu gives. Although Mahaprabhu appears in that Sampradaya, it is Madhavendra Puri who really begins the real substance of the Madhvacharya Sampradaya. He's the one who is the first in the Sampradaya to present and give something of real substance regarding Mahaprabhu's conception. And therefore it is said that Madhavendra Puri, he's the Ankur. Ankur means like the first sprout, the first beginning of the tree of Mahaprabhu. E shloka padite prabhu hoila murchite primite vivasha hoya padita mumite. When Mahaprabhu recited this verse, he immediately fell to the ground unconscious. He was overwhelmed and had no control over himself. Aste byaste kole kore nila nityananda krandan koryatabe ute gorachandra. When Mahaprabhu fell to the ground in ecstatic love, Lord Nityananda quickly lifted him in his arms, crying, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then got up again. Premananda hoila uti iti utidai hunkara koraye hase kande nachegai. Exhibiting ecstatic emotions, the Lord began to run here and there, making resounding noises. Sometimes he laughed, and sometimes he cried, and sometimes he danced and sang. Aidina, Aidina, bole bar bar, kantena, nisare bhani, netre ashrudar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not recite the whole verse. He simply said, Aidina, Aidina, repeatedly. Thus he could not speak, and profuse tears were in his eyes. So Mahaprabhu is completely overwhelmed with Krishna Prem, with love of God, and he's only saying over and over again, Aidina, 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 like that, from the verse. Kampashveda, Bulakashru, Stamba, Vaivarnya, Nirveda Vishada, Jadya, Garva Harsha Doinya, trembling, perspiration, jubilant tears, shock, fading of the bodily luster, disappointment, moroseness, loss of memory, pride, joy, and humility were all visible in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Jadya is explained as loss of memory brought about by severe shock due to separation from the beloved. In that state of mind, one loses all concern for loss and gain, hearing and seeing, as well as all other considerations. This marks the preliminary appearance of illusion. Eishloke udgadila primera kapata Gopinath Sevaka Deki Prabhura Premanata. This verse uncovered the door of ecstatic love, and when it was exhibited, all the servants of Gopinath saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance in ecstasy. Or you could say this verse opened the door of ecstatic love, and when it was exhibited, all the servants of Gopinath saw Mahaprabhu dance in ecstasy. Loketa sangata deki prabhur baya hoila, takorer boga sari arati bajila. When many people crowded around Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he regained his external senses. In the meantime, the offering to the deity had been finished, and there was a resounding arti performance. Takore Shayana Koranya Pujari Hoila Bahir Prabhur Age Anidila Prashada Barakir. When the deities were laid down to rest, the priest came out of the temple and offered all 12 pots of kheer to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kiradeki Mahaprabhur Ananda Barila Bhaktagane Kau Jaite Pancha Kira Loila. When all the pots of kheer, remnants left by Gopinath, were placed before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became very pleased. In order to feed the devotees, he accepted 5 of them. Satakira Pujari ke Bahudiya Dila Panchakira Panchajane Bandya Koila. The 7 remaining pots were pushed forward and delivered to the priest. Then the 5 pots of kheer the Lord had accepted were distributed among the 5 devotees, and they ate the prasadam. Gopinath Rupe Jadi Koriyachin Bad Bojan Bhakti Dekainte Koila Prasada Bakan. Being identical with the Gopinath deity, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already tasted and eaten the pots of kheer. Yet just to manifest devotional service, he again ate the pots of kheer as a devotee. Namasankirtane se ratri gonaila, Mangala arati deki, prabhate chalila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed that night at the temple engaged in Sankirtan. The morning, after seeing the Mangala Arati performance, he departed. Gopal Gopinath Puri Gosara Guna Bhakta Sange Sri Mukhe Prabhu Koila Ashwadan. In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally tasted with his own mouth the transcendental qualities of Gopal, Gopinath, and Sri Madhavendra Puri. Eta Akyane Kohila Dohara Mahima Prabhur Bhakta Batsaya Ara Bhakta Premasima. Thus I have described both the transcendental glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's affection for his devotees and the highest limits of ecstatic love of God. Shraddha Jukta Hoya Iha June Jai Jan Sri Krishna Charane Se Paya Premadan. One who hears this narration with faith and devotion attains the treasure of love of Godhead at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila, 4th chapter, describing Sri Madhavendra Puri's devotional service. Okay. The kartals. They're ones. No, that was. Yeah, that's yeah. Thank you. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Garadara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jairupa Sanatan Bhakta Radhuna Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raguna Jai Gosai Kori Chanana Bandhan Jai De Vignana Shamista Puran Jai Gosai Jar Mui Charanas Sabar Palarenu Mora Panchagras Karer Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas Janame Janame More Abhilas Jai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilavas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhya-lila Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narrated Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narrated Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitya Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitya Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shuki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuka Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghuna Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghuna Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premazigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagwat Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishwavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Brinda Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan. Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Lalita Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.